Welcome to our sexual harassment policy training. The following training applies to all Barney's Gourmet Hamburgers employees. You have completed our orientation, introduction to Barney's, mission statement and values, service and hospitality, policies and procedures, and rules and regulations. This training's purpose is to reaffirm Barney's Gourmet Hamburgers' commitment to a harassment-free workplace. Listen carefully to our harassment policy. Barney's Gourmet Hamburgers will not tolerate any verbal, physical, or visual harassment. This conduct can make an employee feel uncomfortable and therefore create an intimidating, hostile, or offensive work environment. Harassment also refers to sexual harassment and entails any unwelcome conduct such as sexual comments, pictures, jokes, dialogue, and/or advances. Our policy. Number 1. Sexual harassment of any form is prohibited and will not be tolerated, whether initiated by an employee, vendor, or guest. Number 2. Harassment is prohibited whether it is verbal, physical, visual, and/or written. This extends to all forms of unlawful sexual harassment. Number 3. Unlawful sexual harassment includes, but is not limited to, unwanted sexual advances, sexually based cartoons, jokes, images or conversations, and requests for sexual favors where submission to or rejection of such conduct conditionally affects employment status. Such conduct substantially interferes with the individual's work performance or creates an intimidating, hostile, or offensive work environment. Number 4. Examples of conduct that can be interpreted as sexual harassment include, but are not limited to, offering employment benefits in exchange for sexual favors, making or threatening reprisal after a negative response to sexual gestures, display of sexual suggestive posters, cartoons, or pictures, making or using derogatory comments, epithets, slurs, or jokes, sexually degrading words used to describe an individual, unwanted touching, impeding or blocking movement. Number 5. Misconduct associated with sexual harassment by an employee will result in disciplinary action up to and including termination. Number 6. Any manager who fails to take prompt action after receiving a complaint involving allegations of inappropriate conduct will be subject to discipline, including the possibility of termination. Similarly, any manager who otherwise has knowledge of inappropriate conduct and fails to take prompt action in accordance with company policy will be subject to discipline, including the possibility of immediate termination. Number 7. While Barney's Gourmet Hamburgers has an obligation to maintain a workplace free from sexual harassment, employees have a corresponding obligation to bring any inappropriate behavior or unwanted conduct to the attention of management and/or the owners. Number 8. Barney's Gourmet Hamburgers will not tolerate retaliation against any employee who complains about inappropriate conduct or who assists or participates in an investigation or legal proceeding concerning allegations of misconduct. Any employee who believes he or she has been retaliated against is to contact the owners immediately. Procedures. Any employee who believes he or she has been sexually harassed by a coworker, supervisor, customer, or vendor should notify any manager without fear of retaliation. An investigation will be conducted, and appropriate action will be taken to ensure a safe, comfortable working environment for all employees. Here is our policy for reporting harassment. If you are subject to or witness any acts of harassment, please report the behavior to the manager immediately. Please note, It will be investigated. We will keep information as confidential as possible. If you are not comfortable discussing the issue with the store manager, please email the owner directly and describe the pertinent details of the issue. Procedures for handling sexual harassment incidents and complaints. Step 1. Tell the person to stop the behavior that you feel is inappropriate. Oftentimes, when a person realizes that they have done something that offends someone else, they will stop the inappropriate behavior. If the problem involves a guest or vendor, notify the manager or the owners as indicated below. Step 2. If the problem continues or is serious, report to the manager on duty immediately. If you feel uncomfortable going to the manager on duty, go to any supervisor in the chain of command: manager, general manager, director. Or, if you prefer not to speak with management about the problem, the owners must be notified immediately. Step 3. Barney's Gourmet Hamburgers will conduct a thorough investigation as discreetly as possible in an effort to gather pertinent facts. Step 4. Barney's Gourmet Hamburgers will take appropriate action to ensure a safe, comfortable working environment for all employees. That concludes our sexual harassment policy training. We hope that this training helps you perform your duties and be a successful part of the team here at Barney's Gourmet Hamburgers. Thank you for participating. Next, you will be directed to take a short quiz on the material we just covered. Good luck!